So the weather has changed in the last, I'd say, week or two. So I'm wearing big woolly clothes. It's gone from pretty mild to pretty cold, like 2, 3 degrees. So I've got wintry vibes. The trees are shedding their leaves. There's a lot of change in the air at the moment. The changing of the seasons. It's a nice time of year, and it helps me to really connect with the changing patterns of nature when you just look around and you see all this change unfolding, and helps me to recognize as well, oh, this is what I am, this changing, unfolding, natural, universal dance is what I am. That's my nature as well. That's our nature. So it's really beautiful. Especially where I am at the moment, you can probably see there's a lot of trees behind me. So I've just got wonderful beech and horse chestnut trees and ash trees all around, like really gigantic, really well established, beautiful creatures basically. So I feel very blessed to share some seasons of their life with them, in their company. It feels like it'd be nice to share some guidance that you would rarely hear in videos on awakening or non-duality. So the reason I say I'd rarely hear them is because these few pieces of guidance, they're not glamorous. They don't get clicks or likes very often. They're not the supercharged turbo direct pointer to your own awakened nature. But they're crucial. They're really important aspects of this path of contemplation and awakening. But they rarely get spoken about, so I thought, I'll give it a go. So the first one is pretty simple, and it's not glamorous at all, but it's do the work. Now, that's not a harsh thing. It's not like a hard doing the work, but when I say do the work, I mean be consistent in your practice, your inquiries, connecting to the body, exploring your emotions. Be consistent, do the work. Watching non-duality videos or reading books, even speaking to friends about this, they're great supports for this process, but nothing will get you there other than you just being consistent and doing the work. So if you're inquiring into the sense of self, which is quite common nowadays in practice of non-duality and awakening, so you're asking questions into your own nature, like who am I, where am I, be with that, really be with it, and do it consistently, often, again and again, not just on a meditation cushion, but in life. Try to blur the boundaries between practice on one hand and life on the other. So actually practice and life don't separate at all. Life is the practice. Life is what wakes you up, and you awaken to life. So the first bit of guidance, which is really, really important, is do the work. Be consistent, regular, and authentic in the inquiry or the meditation or the exploration that you're doing. And the second bit of guidance, which really relates to the first, again, isn't glamorous, but it's be patient. Now, patience is a difficult skill to nurture, and it is a skill, or maybe it's a quality, you could say, but we live in an impatient age. We have instant access to pretty much everything from food to goods, and especially information. So we can fall into the habit of thinking, oh, I'm going to find exactly what I need to wake up ASAP, and I'm going to find it online, or I'm going to find it reading. So we'll click on link after link after link, thinking, right, I want the fastest, most direct way to awaken so that I don't have to suffer anymore. And I understand why we want to do this, because I've felt it. I've been there myself. But we are conditioned by a lifetime of self-referential views and a lifetime of living with others that have self-referential views. So the conditioning of a lifetime can take a while to see through. And even when it's see-through, it takes even longer to unbind from. So just because we can awaken to the fact that we're not this self-referential point separate from the world, we are conditioned. Our bodies and our hearts, our minds, our nervous system are conditioned from that life. So unbinding from that conditioning takes a while. So just be patient, take your time. Don't expect something to suddenly change overnight. And this joint, like I said before, it kind of relates to the first point. So with that patience, we just get back to doing the work. We get back to the practice, back to the inquiry, back to the exploration. And we're consistent and we're patient. And finally, the last piece of guidance that, again, you pretty much don't hear, well, at least very often in these kind of videos, is take a break. Just learn when to stop. We live in a society which is really caught up in a striving mind state, one which drives towards progress in the future. And that conditioning, that striving conditioning, is also another thing that can bind us to our sense of self and suffering. So learning when to just have a break, just to stop for a bit, rest, give ourselves some nurture and some care when we're in this process. It can be especially difficult when you're, let's say, practicing and working with inquiries, and you feel like maybe the walls are loosening, or the foundation is kind of crumbling in this sense of self, and I'm starting to see through, I'm starting to get insights into my own nature. So then we think, right, well, I'll try harder. Let's work. We'll get back to work, you could say, but let's work from the point of view of really wanting a result. We just push and push and push. And at some point, it just becomes detrimental to do that. So if you find yourself having done the work, being consistent, and you're doing it patiently, but you're feeling tired or exhausted, worn out, maybe lost and confused, take a break. Maybe go for a walk. Go out into nature and see all this beautiful, boundless, unfolding, natural beauty that's around us. Even watch Netflix, or, put a movie on. Just something to shift down a gear and relax. But learning when to take a break can really help give you some perspective, and it can help soften that striving heart-mind enough so that actually insight and truth can bubble and percolate into your experience. So I offer these pieces of guidance just because I kind of wish someone would have told me about them. I strive so hard and did so much research, in an impatient way on this journey over decades, just thinking, I'm going to find it. I'm going to find what I'm looking for. And really, I would have benefited a lot from just having someone to encourage patient, consistent practice and regular respite and care.